Mr. Yaw Daniel Domelevo, oye former Auditor General. Na obekaya if we say Kufuado ebetra so between 2017 2020 and I within Juma. Na obeye very controversial. In fact, Ghana for be na the woman no eto eye ne sense mu. Are somewhere around 2020 ana Kufuado ema Ghana 40 as say papa no yentimi ne no enye adwuma ene e ba Ghana for kan ho asem sa na reason nyina ne say na retirement age na du enti wongo no ngo trefi. It was controversial, but the enemy said there were some high profile corruption cases. Dr. Domelevo itia His Excellency former Akufo-Addo na ba mu mpanimfo enti ko ba asa no na kire se was wo ko pe be tena na eno no ye ya Domelevo ono abo ono ana nanum tu o ka sa ensemi ono de se ba the fight against corruption ade anani wo hu yi papa na wo say Ghana ha se ya mfa na yensi fom a na ye friend katashi na point de intimi entu ase na oka oral committee no of course Operation Recover or Loot or say he has an issue with Operation Recover or Loot. Now he still has an issue with Attorney General say 1 year down the line still want to prosecute you be na he also has issue with the law itself say adena apparently intimi review the current status quo, the current jurisdiction na ekoye say so bi be public officer yenim o property ebra o ba ben because what declare o asset inti o ba ben yenim enema wo de ba be adwuma inti say o fira ben na enema o ba ben mu na wo ho no ebro enema o fira ben mu no wanya kire say wo diska wo wi eska inti you as an individual must prove why you have this certain asset worth. Enti eni say government ni mum na wo say spending resources na o prove say enipa we wi eska but ono anga say mu by asset declaration you know should be able to tell say me ba ba mu enema say na mo me fra ba mu enema say na mo therefore there 5 me nua oman no enti also ono there to be able to say you be fight the fight against corruption no say yanko emrenim na yen legal framework no yansesa no a there is no way I betumi etu ketasehye ene proye ase na owie ye no ode Kenneth Oforiata ne de enso kakra eta ato omientie Domelevo ebra na okasa edefa ekwan ya betumi afaso etu ketasehye ene proye ase ewo oman mu.
If we had changed the legal framework, said that for corruption and corruption-related cases of financial, once it can be established that Daniel is in possession of resources or assets that do not match his known sources of income, then the onus should shift to that he or she got it if it's a lady. So if we do that reverse burden or lifestyle audit or unexplained wealth, I am sure that alone can deter people who intend even stealing. And of course, those who have stolen, we can easily get them to refund the money to us and maybe punish them or whatever it is. Another issue I've raised over and over, if you permit me, is the time it takes to try these cases. You will notice that cases go to court and stay in court for years. Going to continue with it till one day there is a, then the case drops off or they file nolle prosequi, etc. If we don't do this, including of course I've also been advocating for it, amending the act so to make these internal auditors independent so that they can hold spending officers or principal spending officers accountable. And you agree with me. As for the public office, conduct of public office holders bill has been on the table for how many years? Before I became there, Nana-Addo was going to give us one which is of international standard or world class. He did nothing. And 1 year gone, I thought that bill should have been passed now to show that we are not going to tolerate any misbehavior. These are my challenges, these are my concerns. And whenever I raise them, some people don't understand. They say maybe I'm criticizing the Attorney General. Yes, if I'm criticizing him, is because he has not changed the legal framework, which makes the fight easier. As it is now, the fight favors those who are rather corrupt or misusing our resources.
In terms of changing the legal engagement, could have been held to make it richer and better and more encompassing.
Absolutely, but my brother, past 1 year. Wait me. I remember 3 months ago, I said 9 months, and people say 9 months is short. Now 1 year is gone. We've gone 1/4 of the term of tenure of office for His Excellency John Mahama. So a whole year is gone. We are left with only 3. And well, I don't know whether those stakeholder consultations and etc. are being done, but we should have seen at least a bill in the public domain now giving us the assurance that if Ghanaians support it and Parliament passes it, very soon you can't just go into public office and within 3 or 4 years you are so rich compared to the small salary that you receive. So this is what I'm saying, that well, if he is doing some work, yes, no problem. He has been holding press conferences. He should update us on it to say that, look, I have this bill, it is before cabinet, or it is in my office, I'm here to submit it, or it has passed cabinet. I think it would be fantastic.
Great. And you presented a report to the president, which had, over 20,000 or over 2,400 complaints in all. The Attorney General has begun prosecuting some cases. Do you see any of these over 2,000 complaints or cases you identified in the list of the cases the Attorney General has begun prosecuting? Did you find any of those cases in there yet?
To be honest with you, I have not checked because the cases are so plenty and I've not there. And I think that in my considered opinion, again, when I say some things, requires auditing and investigating to it. That is one of the areas that I thought the presidency or the president can depend, or the Attorney General can depend on Clause 8 of Article 187, which empowers the president that in the national interest, he can request the Auditor General to perform some audits. So if those audits were pushed, or those reports were pushed to the Auditor General for a forensic audit, I think we will have been making a lot of progress by now. I am aware that he is doing that of the cathedral.
Na owi eno no obo His Excellency John Dramani Mahama abaso say, in fact omba ba 1 year ni yente corruption scandal bia emfa na ban nti we kire say omo ebo omo modin ewo katase enpoye se omo beti omo ho de efri ho kra na owi eno say onti ase di nti a ken for reata obi a public officer pen na ebradu say ewo say obey accountable to your people a akoshe baby ama I mean enim go say it say emom na account say a former finance minister in a sovereign nation say Ghana ye detain you ICE center oze entwe yi kra entwe yi mwinti honorable.
I think if he had taken the decision, which to me is still not too late, to come back to Ghana and just face it. If he has done nothing wrong, there is nothing for him to fear. If you come, of course, he will be arrested, I think, and I'm sure they will also grant him bail, and then he fights it and clean his name. I think it's better than to be languishing in the jail of a foreign country, and you don't know what your status is going to be one day. It will be sad to see our former minister being handcuffed, put inside a plane, and being deported to the country. So my view is that, well, it is more legal than ordinary. From my commoner point of view, I would have wished that he just come and face it, and so that they don't keep him in jail. I don't think it's the best thing to do.
Well, but with what is happening now, we understand. Well, he would have his day in court in 10 days. Actually, that's the information we have on this.
Yes, in 10 days, will he be granted bail before then?
Well, that we don't know. No,
So
he's
if
been
no, then
detained.
it means he's going to be in detention at least for
Yes,
10 days.
that's true.
Which to me is not the best. I'm not sure if he comes to Ghana, they are going to detain him for 10 days. Maybe a day or two, something like that, he will have been granted bail. And of course, I know he's someone who can meet the bail conditions. He has a lot of colleagues and friends who can easily stand in for him. So I think that will have been easier. And mind you, if he's going to have his day in court, it doesn't mean once he appeared in court, that is the end. What about if the judge remands him and say, go and come back in a month's time? So he will continue being in jail. Is that not it?
Yes. That's what it is, actually. But you say he brought this upon himself, you're saying, essentially?
Yes, of course. Because once you are a public servant, you must be ready to. All of us, we left office. The former presidents leave office. In fact, President Nana-Addo is still in Ghana. And almost all of the other former government appointees, they are in Ghana. So if he had come back after the treatment, or especially when the visa was revoked, in fact, once your visa is revoked, it means that your status has become illegal. You don't have the permit or the right.
I say already onone ne Kenneth Oforiatta anko beba Ghana na waba. After all, you say you are not charged until proven guilty. So enti bra na yentoto ano say yetwe kwadu na say bowa, of course na emre bia na e wo say o man na o ka no waka say yetwe na say bow amon so ano akofa honwadi na sa harassment a yedo famu see detaining woni ade they never say entwa yi. After all, you so come back to Ghana. Hey, Island TV Plus. Waje bra wetie no be like it. Video no share. Na or subscribe na for so enye bi ahwe. Ede amai.